do not think that this is because of also the security atmosphere prevailing in the land? If you think your security agencies are becoming hostile, that is. I'm simply saying that you don't think it's because of the security situation currently prevalent in the land. We
only have 3 states in Nigeria under emergency. For the rest of the country, I don't know. Ask the people in power; they will tell you on top of the situation. So I don't know of anything that will cause security agents to become a lot more hostile like they are becoming these days. So if they agree that there is peace in the land, everything is all right.
Why do you think of security? I didn't even ask you that part. Okay. Why do you think they're becoming hostile?
Okay.
What are the indicators for you?
We get signals. Look at the way they break up rallies and protests these days. The security agents are becoming more afraid when people gather and talk about protesting.
But they break up rallies and protests across the world, depending on...
Yeah, you know, for the first 2 years of President Jonathan's administration, we could carry our placards anywhere, and they will come escort you, they won't mind you. They are becoming very, very hostile. Now, if you talk about gathering to do any protest now, they would not accept it from you.
Oh, well, we've seen very many.
They will not accept it from you. But I'm saying, under this administration, the first 2 years, it wasn't like that.
Just last week, it was a JAF, a Joint Action Front,
yes.
Held a protest in Corridor Road for over ASU and the State of Education. It wasn't broken up. In fact, there
was nothing political about that rally. Raise a political issue and see what their attitude will be.
Could it also be because these security agencies also have information about who is doing what concerning this crowd?
Is there anybody that does not have a right to protest if he wants to?
No, it's not
whether that person is a politician or not.
Not about the right to protest. In fact, there could be some background information as to why and who is behind some of those protests that maybe you and I may not know.
I'm just wondering what is different between the first 2 years and what is becoming in the last 4 months.
As to manipulation, I mean, just adding to...
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, that the last 2 years when those kind of things weren't happening, I'm just wondering what has changed. Were people not manipulating these same crowds? And then suddenly in 4 months, and they are beginning to use this information. So I'm just wondering. It's just an indicator. I'm worried about the trend. And I'm saying that we might just get to that point again where we would have to face those kind of things again.
This new party, parties that are coming on board, do you think that, is it possible in any way that the expectation that people have of them could end up being their albatross? You mentioned some of those happenings in some of those states, and these persons have joined up to form APC. Now remember, when you're in the spotlight, when you're on top there, anything that was initially hidden comes to light.
Very true.
And if people come to understand certain things that they thought was not happening, do you think their mindset, expectations, or feelings will change about?
Very well. That's why I said we need to be cautious. When you see a political party with people who are even standing trial for criminal charges like the Femi Fani-Kayodes and all of that, everybody celebrating moving into APC, we need to be cautious. You understand? Because you appoint Ribadu, for instance, again to return to EFCC and with an APC president, and ask him to prosecute a Samini Turaki, who Ribadu himself said deserved to go into the Guinness Book of Records for stealing 17 billion naira in 1 day. Ribadu said that. He said so, that Turaki's name should be in the Guinness Book of Records. All of them in one mix. How will Inuhu Ribadu? Would he still be the Ribadu that we used to know? That very passionate Ribadu that had to even use 6 members to impeach a governor, and then even Chief Ganifa said it was right because of our passion to fight corruption. Would he still be able to have the guts and the audacity to damn the consequences and do that kind of a thing again? I don't think so. So we also need to be cautious in our expectations. But nevertheless, I think that we also need to give the APC a chance. Nigerians need to give them a chance. And let us see what is going to happen. I believe that they may be able to tar the roads. They may be able to provide electricity for us. But I doubt if they will be able to fight corruption. They will not be able to fight corruption.
Why do you say so?
Because most of their chieftains are also corrupt. There are people who have that history. There are people who have been accused of corruption. Some of them are even standing trial. So I wonder how they are going to go through with all of those if they get into power.
So is it more of the same and same of the same?
No, it can't be same of the same. Like I said, it can't be same of the same. Because even presently, I would rather prefer an ACN government to a PDP government. Because I have seen Edo State, I have seen Lagos State. Even with all some of the draconian things that we see in Lagos, they are still better than PDP. We still see performance. We still see intelligence. We see planning. You understand? You know that somebody is sitting down and thinking. You know, we don't see this kind of rampant thievery that we see in some places where nothing is going on. So I will still, even with what we have presently, one is still better than the other if you are left with these two choices. And that is the kind of expectation
but
that we should
isn't
take
it more
moving
about
forward.
personality? Is it about the parties or more about the persons in these parties? Because regardless of, where you look, you would definitely see examples of good governance or examples of performance, when we're talking about the different parties there, so that some people will tell you, why don't you go to Akwa Ibom State and also see what is happening there? That's an example of, delivering dividends of democracy to the people. Where do you think we should stand on this?
Okay, you see, the truth is that in terms of presenting people for leadership, if you notice, the ACN, for instance, because we don't know where the APC is headed yet, they had a preference for younger persons who were more intelligent. If you notice the crop of people who came out for governorship under the ACN, for instance, they were quite intelligent. They were people who are focused. They were people who had a track record. They had where they were coming from. So you would naturally expect those kind of people to find themselves on one side of the divide. And I want to believe that they will continue with that trend even now that the APC has emerged. You hear names like Fayemi, you hear names, some of those people are people that are focused. They have a history of performance. Besides, the APC too, they claim, even in their manifesto, to be socialist. They believe in... They believe that most of their programs are for social welfareism, so to say. They have free education program in their manifesto and all of that. There's that mark. So they have some sense of humanity, so to say. It's not as if they are saints, like I said. They are not, but they have some sense of humanity. And I think as a party, I would prefer the ACN. Is it ACN or APC now?
APC.
Okay, whatever it is. Let us try something else. 14 years has been horrible in this country. And we really want to see something new. If not all, the PDP, for all I care, can maintain the central government. But you see, in the National Assembly, for instance, you need about 36, that's 72 senators at least to get anything through. 2/3. And the PDP has overwhelming majority. But I would want a situation where even out of this 72, if PDP can even have 70. So that to get anything through, you have to negotiate with the opposition. There will be debate, there will be discussion. You sit down and talk with the opposition.
But are we not already saying that happening in the sense that the National Assembly has not exactly made it easy for the executive? We've seen that friction, so to speak, between the two parties, so that even within the PDP, it would seem that there are divisions in terms of how things should be done.
They only raise our expectations in the pretext that they are fighting something. And then when they get back home, they say it's a family affair. The PDP goes back and they settle it. Most of the time, it's just hulabalo, much noise about nothing. It leads to nowhere. They will fight themselves. At the end of the day, they call a party meeting and the matter ends there.
No, I mean, this same scenario, because if they are split between the line, the parties now, the new party, then the ruling party,
yeah.
do you see it becoming easier to govern because this party will always want to stick to their guns, while this party wants to stick to their guns? At the end of the day, how do they...
It only tests the ability of the head of the executive to build consensus. That's the only time we will see debate. But the thing that will make that work is that more and more credible people have to move into the system. That's why I'm quite excited about the fact that somebody like Keyamo is talking about contesting to be a senator. I'm quite excited about it because people like that also have to go into the system so that we don't leave only the parties alone. The people should go into the system so that there will be quality debates from both sides of the divide.
Most of the people who you met, who are advocates who want to come into the system and do one or two things, do you ask any one of them if they got their voter card?
Some of the advocates? Well,
because that's the ultimate difference.
Yeah, it makes a difference. I have a voter's card, but I have made up my mind, and I tell whoever cares, I will no longer sit on the line. Whoever cares to listen out there, that we need to get involved in this political process. We need to, because if you look at our social life and in church, we struggle to be ushers. We want to be workers in the church to build that institution in the hope that it will take us to heaven. We must also struggle to build this institution that will give us good leadership in this country.
And if we continue, the first step should be
running away, go and get your voter's card. If I go and register in a political party, attend your local political party meeting, get interested. Because if you go to party meetings, you just see talks. That's why it's easy for people to come and share 10 naira and you see them fighting themselves. But if people who were dressed in nice suits like you are, beautiful gowns like Mokwe sitting down there, begin to attend political party meetings, I tell you, they certainly, the politicians will take us serious. They will know that Nigerians have made up their mind to take their country back.
Ask, what is this man looking for here?
Yes, they should begin to ask. I have made up my, I will attend the political party meetings. I will go with my followers. We will sit down there. Then let us see who will come and buy the candidacy. Local people should begin to dream of becoming councillors themselves, even if you don't have money. And the only way we can do it is to get involved. We must get involved. If not, the politicians will continue to tow us left and right. And even if we form 20 political parties, 100 of them will not make any difference until we are prepared.
All right, then thank you for coming on. Abba Janigo is a publisher, Cross River Watch, and also, it's a journalist, of course, you know that.